Hi guys, so it's time for my March reading wrap up, and I had a pretty good reading month in March. I forgot my month that I was talking about for a second there. Um, and I read 5 books. It was so very nearly 6, but I just missed out on it, which is a shame because it's a book that I can't wait to tell you guys about. I can't wait to rave about it because I absolutely loved it. Let's take my phone out of my bra because that's distracting me. Um, So yes, March wrap up. The first book that I read in March, I'm all discombobulated today. I don't quite know what's going on. Was Misconduct by Penelope Douglas. This was a book that I was sent unsolicited a little while ago, and I couldn't decide what to read. I really struggled, and I ended up picking up this one, and it was okay for me. It didn't blow me away. It's sort of an erotic romance. It's about this young woman called Easton, and she meets this man called Tyler at a Mardi Gras ball, and they have this instant sort of connection. There's sort of a spark between them, but they don't act on it, and they they basically disappear from each other's lives, and they meet up again when it turns out that Easton is Tyler's son's new teacher at school. So they have this whole sort of forbidden romance kind of thing, and I liked the premise of it, but some of the sex scenes in it I found a little bit, I don't want to say disturbing because that gives off like the wrong vibe, but like they were just, I don't know, they didn't do it for me anyway, put it that way. But overall I enjoyed it. I just, there was a few things here and there that didn't make it the best read for me, but I still gave it 3 out of 5, and overall I enjoyed reading it, but I didn't love it. Then after that I decided to pick up a really light manga because I had a pre-order sort of waiting, and I didn't want to start another book until it arrived because I was dying to read it. So I decided to pick up this manga, and it's the Care First Love Volume 3. I'm still kind of enjoying. This is like a guilty sort of pleasure manga because it's really cheesy, it's really melodramatic, but it's just really simple, really easy, and quite cute. So yeah, I gave that one 3 out of 5. Then you guys have probably already guessed what book I read in March, and if you haven't, where have you been? I read Marked in Flesh by Anne Bishop. This is the 4th book in the Others series, and oh my god, you guys, this series, absolutely love it so much. It's such a unique series. I've not read another series quite like it. It's just very quirky. I love this series so much, guys. In this one we see more of the Humans First and Last movement, which is sort of an activist group that is sort of amping up the humans. They are trying to reclaim land from the Terra Indigene, which are sort of shapeshifter type creatures that are basically, they're more powerful than humans, and since the beginning of time basically, they're just stronger than they control all the natural resources, so and they control land and things, so humans very much have to are tolerated by the Terra in, I think it's Indigene, or it could be Indigene, I don't quite know how you pronounce it, but anyway, but the Humans First and Last movement are trying to get humans to turn against the Terra Indigene and sort of fight back, sort of thing, with some real explosive results in this book. It was fabulous. I absolutely loved this. I knew I was going to love it. Anne Bishop never lets me down. But also we got to see more of the they call them the elders, and they're sort of they live in the wild country. So we've not seen much of them before. They've touched on talking about them, but haven't actually seen them. And they are some seriously badass creatures, I can tell you that. So yeah, absolute 5 out of 5. Star read for me, absolutely no doubt about that whatsoever. Love it, and seriously guys, if you haven't read this series yet, you need to, because I'm just going to keep talking about it until you do. Then the next book that I read was a new release in March, and that was Midnight Lily by Mia Sheridan. ever since I read Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan, I've sort of been making my way through her books, and this is one that came out in March, and I'm really sad to say that I found it very disappointing. It was such a weird book. Very, very weird. It tackles both the grieving process and mental illness in a way that I personally found a little bit unhealthy. It was written very sort of beautifully and it was supposed to be this wonderful thing, but I actually found it a little bit disturbing in some places. Holden, I think his name is. Oh god, I can't even remember. This is where it gets so confusing. Holden has become addicted to painkillers, and he's basically in a friend's type cabin lodge thing in the middle of nowhere, and he keeps seeing this girl in white, and at first he thinks that it's a hallucination, and then he actually talks to her and he finds out that her name's Lily, and their sort of romance just goes from there, and it's very quick, very sudden, and then you sort of question if it's real or not, and then it's just odd, very odd. I'd probably give it somewhere like 2.5 out of 5, and it really upsets me to say that because I've loved Mia Sheridan's other books. I haven't loved her other books as much as I loved Archer's Voice. Archer's Voice is still my absolute favourite, but this one was just a little bit too weird for me. And then the last book that I managed to finish in March, again, should not really be a surprise to many people, and that's 1,000 Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole. I absolutely love Tilly Cole, as we all know. She quickly became one of my all-time favourite authors. I just absolutely love her way of writing. She really makes you love characters. And I've read some of her adult books with the Hades Hangman series. I've read her new adult offerings with the Sweet Home series. And then 1,000 Boy Kisses is actually a YA standalone novel. And I absolutely loved it. She just writes in the best way. Like, she just sucks you in. It's quite simple, but it's very hard to explain, but she just draws you right in. She makes you love characters, and this one, guys, is an absolute tearjerker, I have to say. I mean, I was like tearing up in chapter 1, and then as we progress, it's just very, I don't want to say soul destroying because it's not, but it is just so emotional. It is, I hate to use a cliche, but it's an emotional roller coaster. It really is. It's about Poppy and Rune, and they first meet when they're 5 years old, and Rune's family move him from Norway, which he really does not want to move, and he moves to America, and he's really sort of grumpy and upset about this. But then he meets his new next door neighbour, Poppy, and she's bright, very vivacious, always looking for adventure, and they instantly become best friends. Poppy and Rune forever and always. And as they get older together, they are still best friends, and then obviously it matures into a romance, and then suddenly when they are, I want to say 15, Rune's family have to move back to Norway, and this is devastating, and then they lose contact. Suddenly Poppy stops talking to him and he doesn't know why. Then he moves back when he's 17 with his family back to America, and he finds out why Poppy stopped talking to him, and it goes from there. It's an unconventional ending, I will say that much. I know it hasn't gone down well with some people, but I think I liked it because it was different, and she didn't go for something easy. I think she just did something a little bit different, and I really liked the ending. So highly recommend, guys, and I would give that one sort of, it's hard because it's definitely sort of the 4.5, maybe 5 out of 5 stars. It's left me in a little bit of turmoil as to what to give that. So that's everything that I read in March, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Happy reading.